Imagine building a company that's worth $1 billion, only to watch it vanish in under a year. That's what's happening to a generation of AI startups that launched before ChatGPT changed everything. These companies were once the darlings of Silicon Valley, with investors throwing money at them like confetti. But now, with the rise of powerful AI tools like ChatGPT, many of these startups are either dying or being bought out at a fraction of their original value. How did this happen, and why is AI the new king of the hill, leaving behind the old guard of AI startups? Let's break this down. Before ChatGPT, AI startups were building tools for specific tasks, like image recognition or language translation. But ChatGPT came along and did all of that and more in one platform. It's like having a one-stop shop for everything AI, and that's exactly what investors are betting on. And here's where it gets interesting. Before 2022, the AI startup scene was a bit of a wild west. Companies were building niche AI tools for things like customer service, data analysis, and even healthcare. But these tools were often limited in scope and required expensive infrastructure. Investors were excited, and valuations were soaring. Some startups were even valued in the billions before they had a single customer. But then, ChatGPT arrived. It wasn't just another AI tool, it was a breakthrough. It could write code, answer questions, and even create art. It was like having a super smart assistant in your pocket, and investors saw it. Suddenly, the old AI startups didn't look so impressive anymore. They were like the original iPhone, cool, but now there's a better version. And here's the twist nobody expected. ChatGPT didn't just change the way people used AI, it changed the entire market. Think of it like the difference between a basic calculator and a supercomputer. The old AI startups were like the calculator, useful but limited. ChatGPT, on the other hand, was like the supercomputer, capable of doing everything and more. This meant that companies that once had a monopoly on specific AI tools suddenly found themselves up against a much more powerful competitor. And investors started pouring money into companies that could integrate with ChatGPT or build on top of it. It's like the difference between a local pizza shop and a global chain like Domino's. The local shop might have a loyal customer base, but if Domino's comes to town, it's hard to compete. And this is where things get complicated. Let's take a look at some real-world examples. One startup, called AI Speech, was valued at $2 billion in 2023. It specialized in voice recognition software for healthcare professionals. But when ChatGPT came along, it could do voice recognition, translate languages, and even write medical reports, all in one package. AI Speech didn't have a chance. Its valuation dropped to $200 million in just 6 months. Another example is AI Image, a company that built tools for image editing. But now, with AI tools like DALL-E and others integrated into ChatGPT, the need for separate image editing startups is disappearing. These companies are either being bought out or forced to pivot. And here's the part most people miss. So what's the difference between the old AI startups and the new ones? The old ones were like specialized tools. You needed a hammer for nails, a screwdriver for screws. The new AI tools, like ChatGPT, are like a Swiss Army knife, one tool that can do everything. This means that instead of buying multiple tools, companies can now use one AI platform to handle multiple tasks. This is a game changer for investors and users alike. And it's not just about convenience, it's about cost. Companies that used to spend millions on multiple AI tools can now save money by using a single, more powerful AI solution. But wait, there's something nobody's talking about. The implications of this shift are huge. For startups, it means that the playing field is now much more level. Only the most innovative and adaptable companies will survive. For investors, it means that the AI market is now more competitive than ever before. And for the general public, it means that AI is becoming more accessible and more powerful. But this isn't without its challenges. Many of the old AI startups are struggling to adapt, and some are even closing down. This is a wake-up call for entrepreneurs. The AI landscape is changing rapidly, and those who don't keep up will be left behind. And this is what nobody predicted. If you're an entrepreneur or investor, here's how to stay ahead in the AI race. First, Focus on building tools that can integrate with the latest AI platforms like ChatGPT. This will make your product more valuable and more competitive. Second, be willing to pivot when the market changes. The AI landscape is evolving rapidly, and the companies that survive are those that can adapt quickly. Third, invest in AI research and development. The future of AI belongs to those who are willing to innovate and push the boundaries of what's possible. And finally, don't be afraid to fail. Many of the most successful AI companies started with a lot of trial and error, and that's just the beginning. So what's the road ahead for AI startups? It's a tough one, but not impossible. The rise of ChatGPT has changed the game, but it's also created new opportunities. Companies that can adapt and innovate will thrive, while those that can't will be left behind. For investors, this means that the AI market is now more competitive and more dynamic than ever before. For entrepreneurs, it means that the future is bright, but only for those who are willing to take risks and embrace change. The key takeaway here is clear. The AI revolution is still in its early stages, and the companies that survive will be the ones that can harness the power of AI in the most effective way. And that's why it's more important than ever to stay informed and stay ahead of the curve.